Guys, back with another video. This is the gaming console rant part 2. Anyways, let me get outside. It's just blinding me, right? So I left off on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and Nintendo Wii era. So anyways, we're going to continue with this rant of mine. Anyways, I didn't factor in the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, which is a perk, and I did enjoy the PlayStation Portable a lot, and it was a really fun gaming console, handheld console. But of course, Nintendo Wii is the best at that. They are the best with the Game Boy Advance, which I remember was legendary. Again, sold over 100 million units, so that was a big time success. The Game Boy Advance and Nintendo 3DS, I believe, about the same. I think it sold quite a bit, about 100 million something units. So Nintendo has reached a goal that Xbox hasn't reached, which is one thing to factor in if you were to ever go into a rant about this or debate about this. Nintendo has reached the 100 million mark just like PlayStation has. Xbox does not have that feat. So yeah, fun fact there, if you didn't know that. Anyway, so yeah, so that isn't a thing to factor in PlayStation, Xbox. They aren't really a big deal now. PS Vita, it's not really that big of a deal, but it is a factor. It's a perk, and it's something PlayStation players have. But anyway, so PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Nintendo Wii. Nintendo Wii really bombed and didn't do that well this generation. Nintendo Switch sounds good, sounds awesome, it's innovative. Being able to play your handheld console, third-party games, hopefully that becomes a reality. With the ability to play on screen with your gaming console. But it sounds cool. Hopefully, I hope it succeeds and hope it does big things. But right now, we're gonna really keep it to Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So the PlayStation 4, PlayStation once again this go around is dominating the gaming console. PlayStation 4 became the fastest selling console of all time. It is selling like crazy. It is doing big things. It's doing great. It's got virtual reality coming. They're pioneering again. They're doing great things. And PlayStation obviously is winning this war, and once again that does matter because the difference is like 25, almost about 25 million. That's like the entirety of New York City, everybody in New York City going to buy PlayStation and Xbox. That's like the difference. That is huge, and once again you do have to factor that in, and they are obviously winning, and it matters because, like I said, you're buying a lot of money. You're spending a lot of money. You're buying a lot of money. You're spending a lot of money on these consoles, and so that is numbers in this do play a huge factor. And it's not just a little difference. It's a huge difference. If you're spending a lot of money and it's not just a little money, and you're really having to make a decision with this and not casually throw your money out there, then you're making it. You're really thinking about it, and so you got to factor that in. And yeah, so when it comes to that, it is showing that more people preferring PlayStation over Xbox. And not only that, it's the past generations. PlayStation has been winning over and over and over again by a huge margin over these other consoles. So PlayStation has proven that gamers and people in general really do still prefer PlayStation, and mostly that is just the games, man. Let's you gotta think about it. Like, even though Xbox has extra features, extra perks on its console, 90% of the reason you're buying these consoles is to play games. And PlayStation in that market, in that area, is killing it in the games, and that is like a universally recognized fact. Like, it's kind of an opinion, but not so much. Like, because PlayStation, they have more greater games, and they have more variety of games. They have more memorable characters, different types of games. Like it's all there. The infamous Uncharted, The Last of Us, Jack and Dexter, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, games that have come out recently that I've very much so enjoyed. Heavy Rain, huge, strong narrative storyline game. Beyond Two Souls was pretty fun, not as strong, but I enjoyed it for the most part. I mean, then you have just different Tomb Raider. You get perks on for being a PlayStation person. You get perks with the Tomb Raider series. Final Fantasy. I mean, these are just a lot of games, of course, that a PlayStation is responsible for. I mean, you got old school games like Sly Cooper. Did I say Infamous? I think I did. Infamous, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Jack and Dexter, The Last of Us. Just all these different franchises. That come in variety. Little Planet, Big Planet. I've heard people enjoy very much so. Killzone, which isn't as big as these other shooters, but apparently gets pretty good. pretty good ratings and all that good stuff. But I'm not a big shooter person anyway. Then just other games that have been exclusive. I mean, MLB The Show, baseball game, which apparently is a very very good sports game. But I'm not into baseball. But apparently it gets a lot of good ratings. It has its own, of course, their own racing game, which I can't even remember what it's called because I'm not really into racing games. So, but apparently, it's pretty good. They have their own racing game brand, not as good as Forza, I guess, but whatever. Um, just King of Fighters, Street Fighter right now is a PlayStation exclusive. So a lot of these great games are PlayStation exclusive. So then of course you get right now because PlayStation's winning, you get things first on Call of Duty. These are their multi-platform games. Things on the PlayStation first or exclusively. But yeah, of course, PlayStation was the first to think of free games on the subscription. On their subscription, PlayStation pioneered the idea of free games, discounts. Um, on just you're having a subscription. The Xbox came, and of course, followed suit. And then, but of course, you didn't. You had free internet for a while, but it's no secret. It's no secret. Xbox has a stronger network, and that's definitely a perk they have there. They have a stronger network. They tend to be stronger in the multiplayer area. Just they cater more to multiplayer games. They have EA access. They have better shooters. More fun multiplayer games. They tend to be more associated and friendly with games like Call of Duty and things of that nature. And Madden, of course. Having you know and UFC, all the games that are under EA. If you're an Xbox person, you get really hooked up with the EA, and of course, just the controllers are better, or all the PlayStations, their controller is, does feel better now, and it's more interactive with their games. They have special features. They have special features with their games, like but the Xbox, just ergonomically, battery life, just the feeling of it, is stronger. But yeah, thought I had somebody had to guess. Thought I finally had somebody here. Anyways, no. But yeah, but PlayStation they just have stronger games. They just have better games, and that causes a huge leap in that area as far as just who's going to win the console war. Is just who has the better games, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to decide it, because it's a gaming console. And to me, PlayStation, by a long shot right now, it's just they have it in the bag as far as the games. And people lie, numbers don't. Mostly speaking in most areas, it is what it is. So I definitely think PlayStation has it. They're dropping just great games. You got Detroit Becoming Human coming out. You got the game with Daryl, the guy from Walking Dead. They got a game releasing with him. You got this new Spider-Man game coming out that looks great. I mean, you got Days Gone. The zombie game coming out. The Last of Us 2 was announced. PlayStation. Not only do they have great games, I mean, there's great games about to drop. And then there's tons of other games that I don't even really, can remember the names or just even really care to talk about, because it's gonna take too much time. But you can go and look it up for yourself. All the great games on PlayStation. Really just name the big franchises that they have, and just a variety of that, and big games dropping later. Later here in the future. But and PlayStation, they just and they have more gaming developers behind them, so it does help them out a lot. They've been more established. They're more kind of have OG status, in the gaming company. But I definitely have to give it to PlayStation. Xbox they just don't have. They have good things, but they don't have it in the strongest area it needs to be, is gaming. They don't have the games. They have the networks. They have the perks. They have the better feeling controller. Um, but PlayStation Network, it works. It works fine. It works okay. And it works. Like, it doesn't work as fast. It does tend to have more issues, but it's not to the detriment of the console. And it's not just this over exaggerated. Oh my God, it's so much more worse. Like, that's just really over exaggerated stories. And the stories with the cockroaches, that is a personal problem. PlayStation couldn't design their PlayStation, or Sony couldn't design the PlayStation to be cockroach anti-proof, against cockroaches. Like, that is, anyways, that's not even a PlayStation 4 problem only. That has been a problem with electronics for ages now. And it happens to the Xbox, it happens to the Xbox 360, It happens. But the problem is, keep your house clean. That's your problem. Keep your house clean. If you have roaches crawling around your console, that is a huge problem. Personally, not the console's problem. Maybe next gen they'll make it anti-roach proof, but they shouldn't have to do that. Like that has nothing to do with the console. That is just, if you have roaches crawling into your console, that is a personal problem. Clean your house, and that mostly happens anyway in areas where roaches are an epidemic, like NYC. Really doesn't happen at all. But I can go look up YouTube videos. I can go look up articles of Xbox. Xbox is having roaches, so that's not a knock on PlayStation. I can get it on Xbox too. Like I said, people come up with rumors, stories, just to make their console sound better, or just to dog. But I can go and find the same problem you can throw a PlayStation. Anything you can throw a PlayStation, I can go and find it about Xbox. It's just y'all, whoever, big fanboys who want their console to win, go and look up these things, find them out. So whereas people like me, you really don't care. But I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it in this rant video just to make a point. But I'm not, my daily life. I'm going around trying to just dog Xbox. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. Like I said, I'm glad it exists. But I do feel like PlayStation, because of the games, because of the history, because of future projections, what they tend to do, and pioneering, just innovative ideas, I have to give it to PlayStation. Like, just hugely on the games, man. Like, I buy my console to watch videos, Netflix, YouTube, and to play great games. And I think a lot of people do as well. I can Skype, Instagram, all these other things on my phone. And yes, well, if you don't have a phone now, people have phones more than anything nowadays. That is like a fact of life. You have a phone. And if you can afford a gaming console, you can afford a phone. Like, people just have phones. Like, that's just what we have. And Sony and Purdue takes that into consideration, doesn't install things into their console that they feel like they really don't need. But Xbox focuses on that. That's great. That's fine. But they need to focus more on the games, man, and they'll be set. I'm telling you. But anyways, this is my video, part 2 of the gaming console. I do believe PlayStation is better because of the games mostly.